What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I'm going to be previewing Death Stranding. Now, Death Stranding releases exclusively on the PS4 on November 8th. So this is the big one. Hideo Kojima, obviously, he's back. These previews, by the way, are more of just me discussing the game leading into its release. I don't go into the nitty-gritty of what the game is about, mechanics, stuff like that, although I do tend to bring some of those things up. I just wanted to clear that, in the very beginning of this video in case people have the wrong idea. But here's the deal. I am very, very excited for this game. We've been having a community series on this game, talking about all things basically about this video game. I'm going to be buying it day one. We're going to be doing a giveaway of this game. We're going to be having videos after the fact. This game is very massive. This is what Sony, they have, the deals with Call of Duty and stuff like this, but that game for November, they're banking on it, and they gave Hideo Kojima a lot of money, the funding for the studio basically, and they expect this game to be very, very big, and by all accounts, this game seems to be exactly what he wants it to be. Now, whether or not that's going to be a phenomenal game, I think there is a divide on the internet and a divide amongst gamers for Death Stranding, and I see it honestly a lot with like polls of people asking like, are you going to get it? Are you waiting for it? Are you confused by it? Are you so confused you're not going to get the game? And this game is I truly believe this, very split right down the middle. I feel like if you're a Metal Gear fan, if you're a Hideo Kojima fan, if you're a fan of these kind of games, just in general, I think this is a game that you're going to be getting no matter what. On the other hand, if you've never played Metal Gear, if you're not a fan of Hideo Kojima and all the, not necessarily like theatrics, but all of like the background stuff with him, like the love, maybe you think he's overrated. I have seen that before. I personally don't think so. I think he's exactly where he should be. I don't think he's the greatest game developer of all time, but for the games he makes, I think for what people, if logically what people say about him, I'd say is right on the money. Okay, so I don't think he's necessarily overrated. I think that, this game is just being touted as the next big exclusive. And, you could have a discussion when The Last of Us comes out, like, is The Last of Us Part 2 better than Death Stranding? I'm sure things like that will happen. I think the biggest question for me is what we talked about in the first video of our community series with this game is just what the heck is going on. Now, for me, I'm the kind of gamer, or I'm the kind of person that I'm going to get this game because I'm intrigued, because I have played Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear 5. I think Hideo Kojima is awesome, and this game is just so out of left field that, there's just so many things going on, and while I don't necessarily think it's the most confusing thing in the world, people, and even me, I'm joking around. I could make it seem like, or other people have made it seem like, it's going to be the most confusing game ever created. I really think, honestly, any game, say Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is a very convoluted story. It makes no sense. It's actually a joke in a lot of respects. But if you take the time, if you spend 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever, on YouTube, watching the story, and we've actually did it. We ourselves have a video, like a 4-hour video, explaining the entire story of Kingdom Hearts. If you spend the time to actually watch that video, I think you'll have decent knowledge of the game where you'll feel comfortable. And I feel like Death Stranding will be the same thing, that if you spend a couple hours online, even after the fact, I think you'll be okay. One of my biggest examples of something like this is BioShock Infinite. I personally love that game, and I think that's one of the better games that has come out, especially the story, especially, again, like the convolutedness. When I beat that game in 2 days. I played it for 4 hours both days. The second day when I beat it, I had no idea what just happened the last, 2 hours of the game. Zero clue. I read, I believe, one of the longest articles of my entire life explaining what the game, what it was, what happened, everything, what the towers meant, the time travel aspects, the villain and you as a character, like everything. It explained everything. I took the time and I understood it. I was like, you know what? The game's phenomenal. Now, you can make the argument that, and there's been other kind of warning signs. Hideo Kojima himself has said, it's going to take you halfway through the game or 10 hours through the game in order for it to get, interesting or good. And you can make the argument that you don't want to wait 10 hours for the game to be good. You don't want to beat a game that's 30. We don't know how, I've never seen how long the game is. I assume it's 20 to 30 hours. Let's just say that for the purposes of this video. You may not want to play the game and beat it and use 20 to 30 hours of your life to then get to the ending and being like, you know what? I have no idea what I just did for that entire time. Not a clue. And here's the deal. That's totally cool. I have no disrespect for anybody that doesn't want want to get this game because they're confused. At the same time, I do think if you just look it up, and that sounds like I'm attacking those kind of people. Some people don't have the time. Some people don't have the want to do that, and that's totally understandable. Yeah, you could spend 4, 5, 6 hours learning the story of Kingdom Hearts, but who wants to do that? There's only select people out there that would, and the game doesn't sell 20, 30 million copies. It sells 5, 6, 7, because it is for a group. And if you're not in that group, I think it's kind of hard to get in it. And so for Death Stranding, it's kind of the same thing. The game looks so fascinating. I'm so intrigued about everything about this game. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think the acting looks great. I think the visuals look phenomenal. I think the story, once it's explained to me, not by the game, not by Hideo Kojima's game, but by somebody else on YouTube, I think I'm going to really like it. Because I think at his core and at the game's core, it's going to be really good, and it's going to be really smart, and it is going to tell a very interesting story that's very, very different. The idea of connecting civilizations, I mean, it's very modern day-ish, right? About kind of like peace and about I don't know, like just being successful, growing things, but bringing us all together, right? Death Stranding, and everybody's kind of spread out in this world, and you have to build the bridges to bring everybody back together. Now, I don't necessarily even know what that means still, but I mean, I'm going to give it the shot. And I think ultimately the people that are buying this game, because I think only maybe like 1%, 1 or 2% of the people that are buying this game fully know everything that there is to know or understand everything that there is to know so far about the game that they can, right? We don't know the entire game, so you can't understand the entire game. But from what we've seen, I think the overwhelming vast majority of people that are getting the game are confused and are kind of going on like a whim that it's going to, like, they'll be okay to get the game. That's me. I don't know what this game is about. I can't tell you guys what this game is about. I can't explain it for you, but I'm going to get the game because I believe it's still going to be worth it, and I'm in it for like the long haul, right? At the same time, there's going to be people that are going to not get it because it's like, I just don't want to deal with that kind of thing, and that's totally cool. I definitely do think it's a split. Honestly, I think any Hideo Kojima game is like that. You saw that a lot, and I wasn't into like knowing the game industry as well as I know it now when Metal Gear came out. That was 2015, so that was 4 years ago. But I did buy Metal Gear 5 day one. I do remember back then, there was a lot of divide. You get those people that say that Metal Gear is like the best stealth action game of all time. You also get the people that say that it's insanely overrated and it's just flat out bad. I think the gameplay and the core mechanics of Metal Gear are phenomenal. Story, convoluted. I don't really care to know the story of all the Metal Gear games. I know a lot do, and that's totally cool. I get how popular that game is. I'm more into that game because of the mechanics, and I think it's going to be the same thing here. They haven't actually focused on the day-to-day, the minute-to-minute things of what you'll be doing in the game. But if it's anything like Metal Gear, and it looks like Metal Gear, from everything we've seen, this looks like Metal Gear. I think gameplay-wise, it's going to be phenomenal. It's actually, I feel like, going to surprise so many people because they're going to be like, wow, this game is, like, playing-wise, this game is tight. It's solid, right? And then the story comes afterwards, and it's like, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, I kind of get that. Oh, I'll watch a YouTube video later. That's going to kind of be the after talk. But I think in the moment, minute-to-minute gameplay, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because I think it's going to be very, very solid. So I'm excited for this game. I think a lot of people are excited. Again, just kind of like they're going to be withheld. They're not necessarily going to jump in and spend the $60, which I don't blame them, to a game that they don't fully understand. That's totally cool. You got games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You play as a Jedi. You use the Force. Easy. Who cares about the story? You're a Jedi. You have Doom Eternal. You go into a room and you shoot everything in sight. You go to the next room. You do the same thing. You have Pokemon. You catch them and you fight with them. You have all of these games coming literally right after. I'm not even talking months after. I'm talking about a week after Death Stranding. A week after that's just so much more simple and so much more easy that I would not blame you if you're not buying Death Stranding because you're getting one of those games, because those games are just much more simpler. At the same time, you could be, like I am, one that it's going to embrace that kind of game. Very interested to see what you guys say in the comments below. What are you going to do? Are you guys going to be getting Death Stranding? Are you guys waiting for it? Maybe if you guys are looking for a giveaway, wink, wink, we'll be doing the giveaway for this game. So if you guys are kind of on the fence about it, check back the day the game comes out, enter our giveaway, and you could win it for free. You don't have to you don't have to worry about paying for a game that you're kind of unsure about. You could just win it. So let me know what you guys think about this game in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel podcast now. Hit that bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. I hope to see you all on the next game preview.